Okay, how many people here know about Medium.com? Lots of you. Okay, so Medium.com, for those of you who don't, is a blog aggregator, and one of its features is that it permits people to set up basically sub-websites for which they function, I would say, as magazine editors. And one of the sites that is on Medium.com is called CulturedPerl.com. It's set up by Dave Cross, very eminent Perl hacker in London, England. And he has a website called Cultured Perl. And I like to think of Cultured Perl as being the place where Perl gets connected to the rest of the world. So I've written a couple articles on Cultured Perl. I write them on Medium.com, and then I asked Dave to publish them on CulturedPerl.com, and after a bit of back and forth and everything, he does so. So the first, which was last September, Perl and the art market in the time of historical turmoil. It was an interview with two women who work at the Getty Art Museum in Los Angeles, California, who did tremendous amounts of research on the artwork looted by the Nazis from Jews and other people during the 1930s and 1940s, and how they had to build a database of art catalogs from the 1930s to help restore that, and how they used Perl in that. Later, the Guardian.com website released CSV files tracking the incidence of gun violence in cities in the United States. And they said, here's the data, go make use of it. And it turned out that the data was dirty from a technical point of view, and I analyzed that with Perl in an article there. But the subject today is, well, we go back a couple weeks to the New York Perlmongers meeting, which took place, of course, at the Peculiar Pub. And I was wondering who was going to be coming to TPC, and I got into a conversation with David Adler, and I said, David, given the current tone of the United States with respect to people from other countries, I would not be surprised at all if there were people who normally would be coming to TPC and who were not going to do so this year. And he said, yes, I know of 3 people already who have attended in the past who are not coming here. Now, since my information is secondhand, I'm not going to use their names, but I am going to say that I do believe that U.S. immigration and border policies are going to have a very negative effect on open source software communities. Since time is limited, I'm not going to go into this in detail. I'm not going to discuss what the policies are this week because they change so frequently and enforcement is arbitrary. I'm not going to blame the Trump administration exclusively on this because under Obama there were many instances of Border Patrol people harassing people at the border who were U.S. citizens whose names were Arabic or whose religious background was Muslim. And of course, Obama's deported more people than any other administration in history. And I'm not even going to argue here that the Trump administration policies are xenophobic in general and Islamic in particular. I'm going to state it as a fact. And if you want to argue with it, we can do that afterwards, right? So, what I will discuss here is that I believe that open source communities are scientific communities, and the vitality of scientific communities are premised on communication and cooperation across borders. And that does not simply mean you're talking to somebody in Syria on IRC, nor does it mean you're filing a pull request for somebody who is living in France. It means you need to be able to contact people face to face, right? And there are harms coming from the current policies. For one thing, there are open source contributors who come from the banned countries, and there are other people, probably many more other people, who are discouraged from coming to the United States because of the xenophobic and Islamophobic tone set by the current administration. Either they fear harassment at the border, or they fear danger within the country. And for the rest of us, those of us who did make it here, right, we don't get the value of their scientific knowledge, and we don't get to see our friends. There are certainly people that you can name who are not here this year. And let's face it, attendance at this conference from Europe, Canada, Brazil, and Japan is down. And I cannot prove, but I certainly am willing to assert that there were people who chose not to come to the United States for this conference because of the policies of this administration. Where do we go from here? I have no prescription. How you raise this issue in New York City, in Houston, Los Angeles, Peoria, Omaha, Cocoa Beach, Florida, is going to be different in all places. So I'm not prescribing any particular action here. Be happy to talk with you later. But this is something that I think you should go back, you should discuss it in your local Perl miners groups, you should discuss it with your co-workers, you should discuss it with your families and with your neighbors. Thank you.